a disaster. So, all right. Welcome. How is everybody? Let me make sure this is going. All right. So the technology is in place. We are live. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. It is an honor to be here, and it's one of my favorite subjects today, actually. Today is all about how to create an award-winning, not just a winning, but an award-winning elevator pitch. And if you are an accountant, this is probably something maybe you haven't really thought of that often. And I frequently heard from a lot of accountants that confess that they feel they don't know how to give a good elevator pitch that actually draws attention from somebody. Not one that, turns somebody off, or have you ever been to a networking event and it just totally sucks because everything you keep saying, people don't come and attract to you, like having that abundant life, right? Or abundant firm. But it actually has people like moving away from you and not wanting to talk to you. So if you've ever felt that way, we will be discussing that today right here. And I completely get it because I can understand that even writing a good elevator pitch is very difficult. And I think it was difficult for me too. It's like when someone asks you, what do? How do you say it in the right way where it's engaging to someone else? So in today's episode, I will give you the 5 steps for creating an award-winning elevator pitch for your accounting firm. So when you go out and network, you know exactly how to talk to people to attract the right clients to grow the firm of abundance that you're looking to grow. So that is what's on deck today. And I always like to say this, if someone has a problem and you have the solution to help them with that problem and you don't really sell your solution because you're a little scared or fearful or afraid, you do need to share it because you're actually doing those people disservice when we don't share it. And I believe that's the same with our elevator pitch. Like when people ask me, Michelle, what is it that you do? I share it freely and openly because I truly love helping all of my accountants like you, each of you listening right now. I love it. It's so much fun. I love seeing the transformation and the growth. And I truly believe that if you have the solution to help your clients with whatever it may be, saving money in tax, saving money in their business, helping them create more cash flow in their business by all of the knowledge that you have, then this is really, really, really important. So, step number one to making this all happen is you have to know the foundation of your pitch. So, one thing you can write down right now is why do you do what you do? Yeah, what do you do and why do you do what you do? Those are 2 crucial questions to make sure and ask yourself. What do you do and why do you do it? What is your firm all about? Are you focused on tax planning work? Are you focused on helping businesses with their bookkeeping and accounting? Are you focused on providing CFO services? Really, what is it that you do and what is it all about? And why is it your personal mission? So I've talked to probably a couple hundred of you one-on-one, and you know who you are. And I know a lot of your missions are to help your clients, right? Like you have a deep passion for helping clients. And to be honest, I think any entrepreneur, solopreneur, business owner really wants to help their clients. So when you have your elevator pitch, or in the Pitch Queen Empire, I do like to call it the brand shake because when you are shaking someone's hand, you're representing your own brand. Ooh, that rhymed. When you're shaking someone's hand, you're representing your own brand. It's really important that you know what your personal mission is. It can't be just about making money. It can't be just about these like materialistic things. But I think for a lot of us, and when I've talked and spoken to each of you, your personal missions are ultimately to help people and to, you have a special knowledge. As an accounting professional, you have a knowledge that a lot of people don't have, and they really, really need you. And then the last thing to think about is really, who can you help? And this is a crucial step because you have to know who you can help, because the who is extremely important. If you can't, I always say you can't be everything to everybody. And here at the Pitch Queen Empire, one of our main focal points is working with accountants, right? Some of you have probably had the thought about, how can I get paid more for what I'm worth? I dish out all of this free information all day to clients via email and phone calls, and I never really get paid for it. So I truly know that I can help you and put an end to that and make sure that you feel good about it too. So that's really who I can help. So think about, who can you help? Maybe today, actually, I was speaking to a new CPA I've never spoken to before, and his focus on who he can help are business owners. And that's what he's really passionate about. He likes that he can help them with their business returns. He can help them with planning. He can do the monthly fees. He rather work with just a few businesses than hundreds of individual people. And then there's another accountant who prefers to just work with hundreds of people. So it's really like, what's your cup of tea? Right? Or what's your cup of coffee? All right, we are still in business and everything is going good. All right, if you have a question, put it in the comment below. I am going to grab a water real quick, a sip of water, and then, Ian can just cut all this part out when we, how was your guys' day, by the way? Good day? All right, we covered step 1. We are going to step number 2. All right, we will start right back here. So, step number 2, which is one of the most crucial steps. I truly believe that this step is what's going to set you apart from any other accountant anywhere you go. If you're going to BNI events, if you're going to, what are the other networking events out there? I can't recall right now. But any networking events, if you're sitting on an airplane, if you're standing in line at Starbucks, as an accountant, CPA, enrolled agent, you have clients everywhere and you have no idea what they do because we don't talk to a lot of people anymore. But here's a structure that I love. So you can copy this, you can write it down. I would take some notes right here. But here's the structure. First, you need to know who your ideal client is. Then you really need to understand the problem that you're helping them solve because you are the expert problem solver for them. And then you want to understand what it is that your clients really want to achieve. And that's what will be the third important piece to this puzzle. And then the last thing is we want to ask a question. Do you know anyone I could help? So this is how it's going to go. What I have found, and I'm going to pretend I'm an accountant for a second, okay? What I have found is that there's a lot of business owners that are doing over $2-3 million in revenue who want to keep more of that money in their pocket so they can fund and implement better structures in their businesses with equipment and technology to create a more efficient business so they don't have to work as much and they can take a little bit more time off and actually not ever have to work a weekend because so many business owners that I work with have to work all weekends. And they don't believe that's possible. They believe that they have to work every single weekend. And what I do is I show business owners how to save money in their business right now, if they have a business of between $2 and $3 million in revenue, so that they can create better structures and systems in their business to keep the money in the business instead of sending out checks to the IRS. Do you know anyone I could help? That's the structure, everybody. So what I invite each of you to do is write that out, this today, tonight, whenever you're listening. Write it out. So let me repeat the few things that you need to know. Number one, who do you want to work with? And get as specific as possible. I was just having this discussion with one of the Pitch Queen interns on the intern team about needing to pick a super duper niche. And it's more important if you have a newer firm, if you're kind of just starting out and you're getting your feet wet with clients. It's really bad news to start taking on any and every client. And my intern, she's not an accountant, but she is an aspiring entrepreneur, and she wants to start an online clothing store. So if you think about the businesses that you want to track, let's say it was an online clothing store, you would need to make sure, A, what's their revenue? Maybe B, what type of clothing do they have? C, do you want to work with a company that actually has inventory? I've spoken to a lot of accountants and they don't want to deal with anyone that has inventory, right? Because inventory can get a little bit chaotic at times. So if you don't like inventory, then that's not for you. But these are all the things to think about if you have a niche, and that's how you can figure out who your ideal client is. Also, you want to think about the problems that you help solve. One of my other students, I think I've talked about him here prior, but I'll bring him up again because it's a really great story. And he loved to make sure that his clients not only got their payroll taken care of, their 401k stuff, their financial service needs, their obviously compliance work, bookkeeping. He wanted to be what I call the hub and spoke. So being the hub and spoke, that means you have to have a solution for the full package for any new business client that you take on. So again, think about the problem that you solve. And then what will happen if they succeed to do that? Because what most people think is that they don't believe they can do it or it's not possible, right? So really think about what is it that you can make sure that they know they can succeed at. So in my example, if I can recall it correctly, they are able to use the money in their business to not make payments to the IRS and invest it in their technology and infrastructure to create a more efficient business. So the entrepreneurs, if it's an entrepreneurial business, or small business, I should say, all businesses are entrepreneurial at the beginning, can not have to work on the weekends because maybe that person didn't believe that not working on the weekends was even possible. So again, this is just an example. You need to create it for yourself. And then lastly, you're going to share what you do. So what I do is blank. Share your solution. What it is that you do? What's the specifics that you help with? And do you know anyone I can help? And this is where people miss the boat all the time. You have to be willing to ask, do you know anyone I can help? And what I recommend too is this, and this is really funny. When you start asking people, networking, etc., and they say, do you know anyone I can help? You're automatically not making it about them and you're making it about helping other people, right? So when you help other people, the person typically will say, if you're in the right area networking or at the right place, oh yeah, that's me. You can help me. So it's a really great way. Okay, so step number 2 is crucial, super duper important. So make sure you get step 2 down. All right. We are moving on to step number 3. Step number 3. I am learning Spanish. It is my goal to become fluent in Spanish, but it is extremely difficult. So, but if you have some water, grab some water. Does anyone have any questions? Because this is the part that Ian's actually going to cut out. Any questions? Any questions? I'm like loving all these filters. It's so fun. I kind of want to do sunglasses for a while. What do you guys think? So much more fun this way. Hi. All right. So again, we are discussing your elevator pitch, especially if you're a CPA, EA, or an accountant. This is definitely for you. And this is the Abundant Accountant podcast. So if you want to learn more, you guys can go over to the abundantaccountant.com, register for my masterclass. It's totally free. So the abundantaccountant.com, and that's only for CPAs, EAs, accountants, bookkeepers. If you've been in business for a couple years, I highly recommend it, okay? You're going to learn a lot, I promise. All right, back to the original program. We are discussing, what are we discussing? Oh, the elevator pitch. That's right, the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch. We are discussing the elevator pitch and the 5 steps to create an award-winning elevator pitch. So, back to the program, and we're going to start right back here. And step number 3 is know who to pitch to. I can't tell you how many times I have seen people making their pitch about their business to someone who doesn't need anything, right? So I have a new friend, and this is an example, who's a business corporate attorney, okay? So what if this person went to pitch his services to a place where they had 0 business owners, and you were talking just to a bunch of people, or students, let's say, or, people with jobs? It's probably not the best place to do and build relationships with people. So step number 3 is know who to pitch to. And there are multiple reasons why this is really important. Number 1, when you are knowing who you want to pitch to, I would make a list. Make a list of 5 people, 5 different niches, industries on who you want to pitch to, because that is what's going to create confidence. And it won't come across as if you're desperate when you're talking to people as you need new clients. And you want to pitch to the right people. It doesn't make any sense if I were to start sharing about how the pitch queen can help specifically accountants if I go to an attorney convention, right? I mean, maybe if they're experts in tax, it would make more sense because they have some, or maybe the attorneys do work with a lot of CPAs, but that's going to be a lot of extra work and a lot of extra steps. So think about the people and the right people that you want to pitch to. And remember that you won't be able to help everyone the same. And this goes back to what we were talking about, who your ideal client is. And you'll probably hear me talk about it pretty often. But having your ideal client is really important because you can't be everything to all people. And I was just dealing with this. One of the EAs that I've worked with, she's had a client for a really long time, and he's in the construction business. Okay, so they do construction contract work, and she really, really wanted to help him. However, this person is not her ideal client. I don't even know maybe if the ideal client is in the construction business or space. I think it really needs to be someone who has been in business a few years. They're, paying a lot in tax, but again, pick a niche where they understand you. She deals with a lot of real estate investors, so I'm like, well, why don't you spend your time focused with the real estate investors versus dealing with a construction guy, a truck driving guy, and this guy? So if you're listening, you know who I'm talking about, right? But you won't be able to help everybody when you are just all over the place. So you really want to focus. And we don't want to pitch people who you can't help. It's a waste of a breath. It's a waste of time. And we all don't have a lot of time, right? You have so many deadlines. We've got deadlines on the 15th all the time. We have just so much going on that it's just not worth it to pitch to people who we can't really help. But also, again, step 3, I can't hone in on this enough. Who is your ideal person you would like to find? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to work with? Where do they hang out? What publications do they read? Where do they spend their time online? What public places do they spend time in? Because, if your clients are at Starbucks all the time because the Starbucks is in a conglomerate of massive business buildings, that might be a great place to meet new clients. So again, step number 3, know who to pitch to. So maybe make a list today. Why wait, right? Now, step number 4 is my all-time favorite. Step number 4 is all about practice. Practice makes perfect. People make their first impression of you within the first 6 seconds of meeting you. So practice counts. Don't let it just slip by the side and just say, oh, I'll just practice like when I get there or when I go somewhere, or maybe you're going to a BNI meeting. I know a lot of you do attend some BNI groups and other things. If you practice this like once a day, or no, not once a day, 10 times a day for a few days prior to any meeting or function, it's going to make a huge difference. And note while practicing these 3 different things. Number 1, your body posture. It's very important because if you're practicing slouched down like this, you won't receive the same results. And you always want to keep the tone of your voice pretty consistent. You want to have confidence in your voice. You don't want to be too quiet, but you don't want to be too loud, okay? So think about the tone of your voice and also the speed of your voice. All extremely important. So that's step number 4. And guess what? We have step number 5 and a little bonus, because my bonus is the best thing. If you put it into action, it will be a game changer for your firm. Number 5 is follow up. This is where I see a lot of mistakes happen. A lot of people make the mistake of not following up. So take your prospects' numbers, emails, business cards so you have the information. But within 1 day, I always like to do it on the first day, same day, if not next day. Email them to make sure they remember you. You can even email your elevator pitch in an email. If you put it in a good structure, you can create an email out of this exact same thing. And really think about this. Focus on building a relationship with your potential client and not making a sale. Every single networking opportunity is about building a business relationship and not about getting a sale. When the business relationship is solid and you have that foundation, that is the foundation to a new client, which creates a new opportunity and sale. But think about the 5 steps, and the follow-up is really all about creating the business relationship. It's not about the sale. And here's my bonus tip. And I do this all the time. And for some of you who are listening today, you know it because you've heard me talk about it. Get a photo. What's the best example to give you? So I also host a podcast called Success Unfiltered. And I'm always looking for, it's more general entrepreneurs who have dealt with no's, who have dealt with rejections, and how they overcame them to get to their versions of success. Some are product-based businesses, some are service-based, some people are actors, comedians, performers. So there's a difference in my 2 shows. However, I go to different events where I network with different entrepreneurs and speakers. And one of the things that I do is I get their number. Everything I do, I'm teaching you right here today. But I get their number, I get their email, I say, hey, can we take a photo? So when I email you, I'll email you the photo of us and you can remember who I am. This little step has set me apart from so many other people. And I have interviewed amazing entrepreneurs. Some people you might recognize like Mel Robbins, who's an author, or Justin from Justin's Peanut Butter. And I was able to get a photo with Justin 5, 6, 7 years ago now. I can't even remember how long ago it was. But this is something that you can do. And, it's not like I'm sharing these photos. It's really to save it with their contact information in order for them to remember, number 1, it's unique. Number 2, no one's doing it. And 3, they're going to remember you. So you really want to make it memorable. And when you make it memorable, these are the things that you can do. So here is my elevator pitch that I've done as it relates to myself helping each of you as an accountant. So I help mission-driven accountants, CPAs, EAs, bookkeepers who have been in business at least 2 to 3 years really learn how to sell with the confidence and come from a place of service to offer their high-value services to their clients without feeling sleazy, pushy, or desperate, and really have the confidence to deliver that in their message so that they can increase the sales conversations and increase the conversions to ultimately increase their revenue. Do you know anyone that I can help? So my goal for you for today, or whenever you're listening, is create and fine-tune your elevator pitch. Practice, 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 practice. As I said, I would say 10 times a day until it becomes flawless. And put your elevator pitch in the comments below, on the show notes. Email it to me, hello@thepitchqueen.com, and share it with others so, we can all help each other out. All right, I'm going to stop the recording of the audio and go to questions if anyone's here. If you guys like this, if you can give a thumbs up and share it, that would be great. Does anyone have a question about their elevator pitch? Again, I know some of you here are business owners or have some sort of service-based business, but how do you pitch yourself? What do you say to people? Why isn't my Facebook working? Oh, it's weird. Hey, guys. Hey. What's going on? Anyone have a question? Anyone have a question? Anyone have a question? Going once, going twice? If you have a good elevator pitch, please put in the comments below. Also, if you'd like to share this, I'd appreciate it. You can share it on your pages. If there's no questions, thank you so much all for being here today. It was an honor to be here. This was a fun episode. I always love talking about the elevator pitch. But like I always say, you have to put things into action. It all might sound good, but until you put it into action, nothing will happen, right? Because as Mel Robbins says, confidence stems from putting little things in action. So have an awesome day, night, week, and I will see you all soon. Bye.